In 1988, writer Keith Reinhard moved into a remote Colorado cabin to write a novel about a real-life man who had mysteriously vanished from that very spot. But just weeks into his writing, Keith walked into the Rocky Mountains and vanished without a trace, leaving behind a finished manuscript that predicted his own disappearance. To understand this terrifying coincidence, we have to look at the tiny, isolated silver mining town of Silver Plume, Colorado. Nestled deep in a shadow-drenched valley, Silver Plume was once a bustling mining hub, but had quieted down into a secluded sanctuary for eccentrics. In 1987, a local journalist named Tom Young arrived in town, looking for a quiet place to escape the noise of the city. Young rented a small wood-framed cabin and opened a bookstore on the ground floor, hoping to find peace in the high altitude. But on September 7, 1987, Tom Young suddenly closed a shop, packed his dog into his vehicle, and vanished into thin air. No one saw him leave, and no one knew where he went, leaving the town of Silver Plume wrapped in a quiet, unsettling mystery. Months passed with absolutely no signs of Tom Young or his dog, and the cabin he rented sat empty and silent. Enter Keith Reinhard, a 50-year-old sports writer and photographer from Chicago who was facing a profound midlife crisis. Keith wanted to completely reinvent himself, so he took a sabbatical and headed to the mountains of Colorado. By a bizarre stroke of fate, Keith rented the exact same cabin that Tom Young had occupied just months earlier. Keith became completely obsessed with the sudden, unexplained disappearance of the cabin's previous tenant. He decided to write a novel, a fictionalized account of Tom Young's life and mysterious vanishing. In his novel, Keith renamed the protagonist Guy Harrison, a man who chooses to completely disappear from his life. Keith wrote feverishly, pouring his own frustrations and desires for freedom into the fictionalized version of Tom Young. But here's the twist that shocked investigators later. Keith's manuscript ended with the main character vanishing into the mountains. As Keith worked on the book, locals noticed his behavior shifting, as if he were merging with the character he was creating. Then, on July 31, 1988, a shocking discovery was made just miles away from Silver Plume. Hikers stumbled upon the remains of Tom Young and his dog in a remote area near the top of Loveland Pass. Both had died from gunshot wounds to the head, and a revolver was found lying right next to Young's body. The mystery of what happened to Tom Young seemed tragically solved, ruled as a murder-suicide of himself and his pet. This discovery deeply shook Keith Reinhard, who had spent months living in the shadow of Young's ghost. Just 1 week after Tom Young's body was identified, Keith told friends he was going for a short hike. At around 5 in the afternoon, Keith set off toward the summit of Pendleton Mountain, a grueling climb. He was wearing only a light flannel shirt, jeans, and sneakers, completely unprepared for a night in the wilderness. A friend warned him that it was far too late in the day to summit, but Keith replied with a chilling statement. Keith said, "If I don't return, look for me in the obituary," and then he walked into the trees. That was the very last time anyone ever saw Keith Reinhard alive. When he failed to return the next morning, one of the largest search and rescue operations in Colorado history began. For several days, over 100 ground searchers, tracking dogs, and helicopters scoured Pendleton Mountain. But they found absolutely nothing, no dropped items, no footprints, and no clothing fibers. And that is not even the strangest part of this search. During the search, an experienced rescue worker named Pat Fitzgerald died in a tragic fall on the treacherous slopes. Following Fitzgerald's death, the active search for Keith was called off to prevent further loss of life. In the years since, numerous theories have emerged to explain how a man could vanish from a small mountain. Some believe Keith intentionally staged his own disappearance, fully committing to the fate of his fictional character. Others suspect he suffered a sudden mental break and took his own life, mimicking the tragic fate of Tom Young. There are even whispered rumors of foul play, suggesting both men discovered something dangerous in the abandoned mines. Yet, despite decades of searching by amateur detectives and family, not a single bone of Keith has ever been found. The mystery of Keith Reinhard is not just a bizarre tale of coincidence, but a terrifying look at how easily a person can be consumed by the stories they tell.